Happy Spookies, everybody. I hope you're all doing well, having a most excellent day. And today we're going to go ahead and talk about just a couple of new found footage movies that recently dropped on Tubi. But really quick, I just want to address something. If you follow me on Twitter, I recently went through just dealing with some fucking trolls that were just harassing the shit out of me, body shaming, you know, just typical bullshit. And the worst part is I let it get to me. So I had to walk away. I currently just deactivated my account. I'll probably be back by the end of the week. I just needed to not be on Twitter. But I am thankful for a couple of people that still I'm able to reach out with. My buddy Josh, thank you so much for being there, as well as my buddy John, who goes by the handle of @FadingArcader. Amazing freaking dude. Thank you so much for being here. I woke up to one of the most best things I could have ever, I'm fucking just still shocked. But my buddy John actually sent me a cameo from one of my favorite people to ever exist on this planet, and it's director Joe Lynch. And it was just the coolest fucking thing. Wow, thank you so much. I'm speechless. I am honestly speechless. I was about to record this video and I just read the text messages and I saw this link and I was like, well, okay, let's see what he has to say. And it was just awesome little cameo of Joe Lynch in this Airbnb walking around, and he kind of did those little found footage skit at the end. I don't know, it was awesome. Thank you so much. That just completely cheered my whole mood up. I feel like I just logged back on right now, but I feel like I should just take a couple more days just in case. But wow, thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Joe Lynch. That was just absolutely amazing. And I also want to thank John for sending me Darcy's latest blog, which, if you're not familiar who Darcy is, she's Darcy the Mail Girl, Diana Prince. She is on The Last Drive-In. She is Joe Bob's mail girl. She does a lot for the community online. She is probably the main reason why Joe Bob is back right now. But her latest blog was actually very, very something. How do I explain it? I needed to read it. It had a lot to do with basically saying fuck the haters and be yourself. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and shut up and get to the review. I am in such a fucking great mood now, so let's get to it. Alright, two brand new found footage movies just recently dropped on Tubi. I want to go ahead and talk about them. First, we're going to talk about the Andy Baker tapes.
What's up, guys? Just want you to know that last week I got the call and I just got optioned by the Food Network. Let's get away from our usual taste and tell format and dive a little deeper into my family history. Why not use Ancestry and me to try to locate any relatives? So I spit in a cup, I sent it in, I waited 3 weeks, and boom, I'm paired with a common ancestor. This story's crazy.
Now, this was directed by Brett Latta, who also stars in the movie, as well as Dustin Fontaine, who plays Andy Baker. Now, these are more going to be recommendations. If I do get into any spoilers, I doubt I will, because these are brand new movies. I'd rather you just watch them. I'll save it to the very end, but I doubt they're going to be any huge spoilers. Just basic quick synopsis and what I thought of them. The Andy Baker tapes is essentially about this YouTuber who does this sort of food vlogging thing. You know, he goes to different locations, eats, but he actually has a chance to score a pilot on the Food Network. He's been offered some type of deal, but he has to film it himself. So he's trying to figure out what's the best way to come about this. You know, is there anything interesting he can add into this pilot to try to give it that little flavor aside from, you know, going to food places and reviewing them. He recently lost his father a year or so ago in a horrible car accident, unfortunately, and he never got to meet any of his father's family. So he has this idea and he goes on Ancestry DNA and he ends up finding a match a couple weeks later for a half-brother, Andy Baker. I don't want to say it's a very predictable movie because it was fun, don't get me wrong, but ultimately with this sort of movie, and especially if you watch the trailer, you're gonna get an idea of where it's gonna go. It's basically the question of how it's gonna happen, you know. That's why you're gonna watch. From the first meeting, you get this very off vibe of Andy. He looks very lovable, but at the same time, he does these very creepy stares, and he really starts getting just off the rails later on down the movie. I think my biggest complaint with this movie is there's not enough food in it. No, the acting was actually really good. These two dudes were great on screen. They shared a really good dynamic. One was very charismatic and outgoing, and Andy Baker was just, but at the same time, he also has this look on him you know, he could be friendly. He could be a cool dude to hang out with. I think with both of these movies, there's sort of a little twist, a little thing they do at the end where Again, you're gonna see where it's sort of going with this one, but they do add in some things to give it a little umph, you know what I'm saying, to the story, which I kind of did enjoy at the end when there's certain things being revealed. And I actually like that it's very short. It's like less than an hour and 20 minutes, so that's awesome. And it looks really clean. Like, I don't know what they kind of mentioned the camera at the very beginning. They're like, oh, the dude's like, when he grabs it, he's like, oh, you're going super professional. It's all heavy. But this camera is just must be superb, because the entire movie just looks absolutely clean. Also, there is food that they do eat in the movie, like a couple of times. That shit looks good. All right, the next movie I want to go and talk about is called The Barbados Project. Now, this has 2 directors credited. One is Stockton Miller, as well as my buddy Thomas Burke, who went and directed Camping Fun. And he's got a lot of stuff. I'll go ahead and put a link on his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of shorts. Definitely check out Camping Fun if you're a found footage fan. But if you're into like other little like quick short films, check this guy out. The movie stars Cheryl Belgrave, Ishmael John, and Brandon Blackman. I'll just say this right now. This felt like an anime. Like, I felt like I was like a story from an anime movie. I somewhat got like Neon Genesis vibes and shit. Like, if you watch Evangelion, I kind of got vibes like that. But this is all about a journalist who goes and investigates this online social media clip of this, what appears to be this fucking like giant creature out off the like in Barbados, which is kind of nice. They do a little quick explanation in the very beginning of the movie, which I was like, oh, okay. I didn't realize it was like an offshoot of the United States. And the name always reminds me of Captain Barbosa. Is that his name? From fucking fucking that pirate movie. I can't think. I still can't think. I can't remember the name of the Pirates movie with Johnny Depp. Why is it just a blank? Anyways, those pirate movies. Captain Barbosa, he was badass. I'm fucking digress. So yeah, it's all about this journalist. She ends up seeing this media clip online, and she does a little investigation of herself. Of course, what happens in all these movies when you have somebody poking around? They're gonna go ahead and uncover government conspiracies and shit like that. So this is essentially what this is. You really have to suspend your disbelief when you watch this movie, because there's a lot of creatures, and not a lot, but there's quite a bit of like the creatures when they do show them. So you really have to be like, okay, you know, with the effects and things like that. It does get a little creepy towards once the story really starts getting going and stuff like that. There's a part where somebody doesn't encounter a creature, and after that, it does get a little like creepy. There's like a few little scenes that kind of like still stick with me. There's one scene where somebody kind of just turns around, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you watch that. That I was just like, oh shit, that was kind of creepy. This movie does do a little like, okay, at some point near the end, they start like flipping it on you, and you're like, okay, what is happening now? But ultimately, it was enjoyable. It was entertaining. I enjoyed seeing where the movie was filmed. I liked the story. It was a really neat concept. You know, the acting was all right. You know, it was cool. It wasn't bad. I'll say that. It wasn't horrible acting. It was okay. And this one, I believe, is probably an hour, maybe a little less. I can't recall, but another very short one that you can easily just knock off your list of found footage movies you've seen. I know some of y'all out there, y'all ever just watch found footage movies just to knock them off the list, and then you regret watching some of them? I will always say that some of the worst ones I've ever seen are Area 407, which I've done a review on. Man, I just can't with that fucking movie. There's this one I saw called Welcome to the Jungle, which I recently got brought up on my subreddit. I just can't with that one either, dude. I don't know. And I saw this one called like the Bucks County Massacre. I don't know. I mean, I never made movies. I make these stupid ass videos, so I don't want to sit here and say those are garbage. But god damn. And I love Mark Polonia, but shit, dude, his movie Alien Surveillance. Anyways, this movie is definitely worth checking out just to see like the cool creature effects and stuff like that. The concept of the movie is very interesting. It definitely gave me Evangelion vibes for sure. Keep an eye out for Thomas Burke. He's a cool dude. He's got some things working up right now. Definitely worth checking this guy out. Anyways, since I just brought up some of the worst found footage movies that I think I've seen, what in your opinion are some of the worst found footage movies you've ever seen? I'm very curious to see your answers. If you don't even like found footage, that's fine. Go ahead and say Blair Witch. Happy Spookies.
Whoa.